Greetings from Chicagoland. You're listening to Munira's Musings, where your host Munira will showcase new guests each week to share exciting details about the journey to their niches. As we like to say, the riches are in the niches. And on this show, we'll share ideas on how to break through our invisible boundaries so we can start taking steps towards our dreams and create the life that we most desire. If you're passionate about impacting lives, then this podcast will give you some great ideas and equip you with the tools to quickly grow your business. Okay, let's get started with today's show. Here's your host, Munira.
Greetings from Chicagoland. This is Munira. Munira's Musings. How are you today, everybody? We are blessed today to have a local Midwestern coach and speaker. He's my friend. He's all the way from Wisconsin. You can tell he's showing us his t-shirt. But you know what? I've had the pleasure of knowing Todd for a long time, and we connect off and on, and then we come back again. We connect off and on. We then do our thing, and then we connect again. So this is just a conversation about how he got to his niche. And that's what we do on Munira's Musings, is we showcase a person who has navigated to their niche. So without further ado, Todd, welcome to Munira's Musings.
Well, thanks so much. You know, I've been sending flowers and chocolates and presents to you for 4 or 5 years, and I finally get to be on your show. So I'm really excited to be here.
Thank you. I want to see those flowers that you sent me.
Must have been the wrong address.
Must have been. So how are you? And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Glad to be on the show. I live about 3 hours north of Munira in Stevens Point, Wisconsin, right in the center of the great state of Wisconsin, and got a lot of friends in the Chicago area. Matter of fact, one of my best buddies is from Chicago, so great community. Yeah, I got started in this whole racket about revolutionize company culture and leadership. I started part-time while I was working full-time, and got into it through some John Maxwell events. I'm sure a lot of your listeners have heard of John, and went to his Live to Lead event, read some of his books, went to his conference, and just got really enthralled by the whole concept of teaching leadership and as part of my passion. And then about 1.5 years ago, I left my full-time job, one of my best jobs I've ever had, actually, to do this full-time. So I'm a full-time speaker. I do workshops, coaching, teaching, training, and really love what I do and love all the people that I work with.
This is amazing. So let's start right at the beginning. So you said racket, right? It's not a racket, it's a business. It's a wonderful thing that we are doing. We are changing and shaping other people's lives as coaches. So tell me, Todd, when you started, you said you started reading leadership books and everything. How does one start? Like, how did you start? Did you just pick up a book at the bookstore, or how does that work?
Well, actually, ironically, I worked at the Chamber of Commerce, and individual came to us and wanted to promote his event, and it was the John Maxwell Live to Lead, and we ended up partnering with him. I think it's really, it's like, how did you and I get connected, right? It's just getting to the right places, being with the right people, going to, if it's a chamber event or a nonprofit event, or if it's some sort of a fundraiser, just getting out and meeting with people, connecting with people on LinkedIn or whatever you do through Facebook or LinkedIn, connecting, networking, getting to know other people, putting your hand out. And really, the focus has to be on giving. So many people go out in the world and they want to pass out their business card and sell something. But as you well know, and I know as well, it's all about developing those relationships. But you have to get around in different communities. When you're on Facebook, there are a lot of different communities out there. Try out a couple, see what they're like, learn more, dive in, and eventually you'll find that right niche for you.
So the question that comes to mind is, why does anybody want to learn leadership? Why? Leadership is for those people who are CEOs, right? And why is it for me?
Well, you're setting me up here with a softball, right? We know that leadership is for everybody. Everybody's a leader, really, in one way, shape, or form. And the title isn't what makes you a leader. It's how you influence, inspire, impact others. That's what makes you a leader. And again, we're all leaders in our families. We're leaders in different organizations, maybe in our church or in our faith, whatever the case might be, in our jobs. Even if we're a frontline employee, I've seen some incredible frontline employees who are impacting people right next to them and helping them become better people while they're working in a manufacturing business, wherever it might be. So I really believe, as John does, that we're all leaders. We're all at different levels of leadership in terms of our personal growth. But the best way to grow then is to do the things we've talked about, is read, network, go to conferences, listen to this podcast on a regular basis to help yourself grow.
Okay, so then the question is, why do I need to grow?
I think, well, to be a better person, really. It's been amazing what's happened to me and the people I've come across and how other people have helped me, people in my inner circle. The gentleman that came into my office, he and I are great friends now. And we have not only a great leadership relationship, but a great faith-based relationship. So it's helped us in a lot of different ways, but really figuring out how to become better people. There's not a moment in life where all of a sudden the switch is flipped and we're great people. It's a continual process. I'm closer to 100 than 0, as people can probably tell, and I'm continuing to grow and learn and improve my relationships and find new relationships and new people that can help me become a better person.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. The reason is you've heard about all these people, all these thought leaders, all these awesome speakers. You hear them, you listen to these to their podcasts, you go to an event, you figure all this out, and then you come home and then you're the same person that you are. So, and there's no motivation after that until another thing happens, and then you go back and you start the whole process again, but you've never done anything. And then there's a lot of people who are listening who are not sure why they need this, right? That's why I'm not setting you up. I just need your perspective on this.
Sure. Well, one of the things I always tell people whenever I begin speaking or doing a workshop is what I say doesn't matter, what you do does, right? I could be, well, maybe I am the best leadership speaker in the world, right? But what I say doesn't matter. You have to go out and do something, take those little steps to change. If you go back and do nothing, that's your choice, right? And again, another quote I love is, it's your decisions, not your conditions, that determine your trajectory. So you have to make conscious decisions, create those habits, and just small habits. Maybe you're not a big reader right now. Get one of Munira's books, get a leadership book, get a Maxwell book, and maybe spend 5 minutes a day to start with. We all waste, I guarantee you, 5 minutes a day. Well, take that 5 minutes and turn it into something productive. Maybe it's not reading. Maybe you're not a reader. Maybe you like to write. So maybe you journal for 5 minutes every day. Just kind of write down what thoughts and what things are on your mind. And it's really amazing as you build those habits, focus on making those changes and doing something, how things will change. And it's not going to happen. It's just like exercise, right? I could go to the gym for 9 hours today. Nothing's going to happen other than I'm going to be really sore. But if I go to the gym every day for a half an hour over the course of several months, things are going to change. Just like love, right? You start your relationship. It's not all of a sudden you flip the switch and you're in love. It's a process. You send a note. You buy some flowers, you take the person out to dinner, you go to an event. It's a process, and you have to take those baby steps to get along the way.
I love the way you're explaining that. Okay, so tell us about your journey. So you were in a job, and then this guy showed up and things changed for you. What about John Maxwell triggered your decisions?
Two things, really. When I was on a Live to Lead watching him, and he was speaking, when I watched it, I think he was turning 70 or 71. And he said, I haven't accomplished what I want to accomplish in my life. And here I was thinking all along that you retire when you're 65 or 62 or whatever the age is. And here he is in his 70s, still working, still influencing, still impacting, still inspiring people. And I thought, you know what? That's the kind of person that I want to be. I want to be that kind of person, no matter how small or large I do it. And then the other thing he was talking about is taking people in Maxwell Leadership, taking them into different countries in Central America and in the Caribbean, and training their leaders so they could train people in their country to be leaders. And he started getting really emotional about it. And not that emotional where, you pinch yourself under the arm and start crying, but sincerely cared about making those changes. And I thought, well, this is what I want to do. It's not my job. It's not my career. It's my calling. It's what I really want to do and how I can impact people. And I see myself doing this for a long time. So from that Live to Lead, then I read his book, learned a little bit more about leadership, learned a little bit more about him. Then I went to, actually, I'm going to his conference in the middle of March again this year. It'll be my 4th time, right? Your leadership growth never ends. But he was just very inspiring in the way he was trying to help others. And now I've seen that myself in some people and groups that I've been able to inspire. And it's a great feeling.
So it's a compounding effect and it's a domino effect.
Better than the interest you'll get on a CD, but yeah, it's a compounding effect. It grows, it builds, and then you start growing the people that you know. I'm one guy I met at the IMC, the Maxwell conference 4 or 5 years ago. He and I get together once a week for half an hour, and we're kind of accountability partners. We talk about our lives, we talk about what we're doing in our businesses. And I never would have met that person if I hadn't gone to a Maxwell event. So that, just like you and I got connected through some Unleash You Now events, you meet some great people, you stay connected with them, and you help inspire each other. Sometimes, you're not always up and enthusiastic. Sometimes you need somebody to help you along, and it's great to have those people there to do that.
Awesome. So tell us, so now that you're doing this, you are inspiring, you're DISC certified, you're inspiring companies. What kind of companies do you inspire?
I work with all kinds of companies. More recently, I've spent some time with, seems like the banking and credit union industry and manufacturing. But what I talk about in terms of company culture and leadership can work with any business, nonprofit, you name the business, and it can help them. But really going in, I'll speak to associations, talk to people about things like their core values. What are the things that make you who you are, not what you are? How do you identify those? How can you connect those in your life? How can you change your life? As you mentioned, the DISC assessment's another great tool. It takes about 15 minutes to take this assessment. You get a 30-minute report, or a 30-page report. And it talks about different ways you can better communicate, be a better worker, what your strengths are. And not only talks about you and who you are, but then it works from the inside out where you can start impacting others, and you can understand other people's styles and really enhance your communication. And once you've got that great communication going, then you can build trust in the workplace. And once you have trust, the opportunities are endless, right? Once we trust people, things can really start happening, whether it's individually in an organization or in a lot of the companies that I've been working with.
This is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. So in all of this, are you satisfied?
No, there's more I can do. There's more I believe I need to do that I'm called to do. I want to learn more. I mean, like I said, I'm going down to this Maxwell conference. I'm going to celebrate my birthday while I'm down there. And I'm going to learn more, and there's going to be more opportunities. And just talking with you today, Munira, different things that popped in my mind about things that I can do or should be thinking about, how I can impact others. People say, Todd, how long are you going to do it? And I say, well, until I'm drooling too much or can't hold my head up. I mean, I want to impact people for as long as I can in my life.
So this has become a passion. It is your calling, that you said.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And again, I don't do it. I mean, we all do things for rewards, I guess, but that's not why I'm doing it. But I've gotten so many rewards from people, I'll get a little text, or I'll get a Facebook post, or someone will make a comment, and just like on your post, right? That person just says a little something, how what you said or did makes a difference. And that's like tremendous fuel for me to keep me going. Because I know if I'm impacting that person, there's probably a lot of other people out there that I'm not hearing from that I'm impacting. And I'm not trying to be like boastful, but it's just a way that I can make a difference in the world. Everybody has their way of making a difference. Everybody has their way of living their dream. And this just happens to be the way that I'm doing it.
Love it. I love it. Thank you so much. So for people who are thinking about self-growth or leadership, or, give us 3 pieces of information that they could take away from here right now and impact their lives. I'm not talking about being a leader in a company or anything, but start with themselves. What should they do?
Sure. I think again, keep it simple, stupid. Use the KISS method. So I would suggest find a book related to leadership or culture or something that you're interested in. Start with 5 minutes a day and read maybe underline, maybe highlight things, whatever the case might be in that 5 minutes. Eventually, it'll become a habit, and eventually you'll continue to grow that time you spend on reading. Another suggestion I might have is John Maxwell actually has, it's called Minute with Maxwell. Minute with Maxwell. It's a daily, now John rarely talks for a minute. That's hard for him to do, but it's brief. It's a couple minutes. And he shares every day he has a word of the day or a phrase of the day, and he'll talk about what that word means to him. So I think that's a great idea. The third thing to do, and this may be a little bit harder for some people, but get out and network with people. Find some people, maybe find them first on Facebook or on LinkedIn, get on a Zoom call, or, maybe it's a little more comfortable for you to be on Zoom than it is to meet face-to-face in a coffee shop or something like that. But try to get in front of people. Your local chamber of commerce, there's other nonprofits that have events. Just kind of get out and talk to people and ask a simple question like, what do you do to grow your leadership? I mean, people love answering questions. So maybe if you feel comfortable, you could ask a simple question like that, or find some leadership events in your community. I host this will be the second year now. I'll host Live to Lead actually on my own. I've been going for 6 years. And you can join by Zoom. So there's a lot of different ways you can get involved. Again, if you're not as comfortable getting out with people, in front of people, there are other ways you can grow your leadership through reading, through the Minute with Maxwell, and through other online opportunities.
I love it. I love it. Any last words for our viewers?
Just make it a habit. My word for the year, I picked a word for the year, it's called consistency. And in order for me to be consistent, I have to have priorities, and those priorities become my habits. And those habits will change me grow. So find ways to make good habits.
There you go, folks. This is my friend, Todd, whom I've known, who's been sending me candy and chocolates for 5 years.
I'll have to get those tracked to find out who they went to.
I know, please do. They took my favorite food. So the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, you have to have humor in your life. You have to have some fun. You have to grow in your life. Sometimes it's not just enough to say, I'm just done. I've gone to school. I've got this job. Every day is a learning process. And to do that is have consistency, read a book. I'm going to be starting in a few weeks. Watch out for my five challenge that I'm doing. I want to involve all of you. So if you are on Facebook and if you're on any of my social media, you want to be there and following me about my 555 challenge, because this is going to also instill some consistency in your life. But it just takes 5 minutes, and we waste so much time reading on not waste. I mean, we are interested in other people's stories or other people's lives. Why can't we take that part of that time and instill some good in us? You can take any book, doesn't matter which one, but start with one. And Todd, any last words, anything else?
I always say, put your own oxygen mask on first, right? Take care of yourself. Find those people and books and the information you can fill yourself with. Have a great day. Munira, it's been so awesome to be on with you this morning.
Thank you, everybody. And if you like this show, please go ahead, share, like, and subscribe to our channel. We will see you next week with another guest and another niche and another piece of advice. Until then, have a good week. Bye. Yay!
We did it. We did it.
It's always fun to hit the stop button.
Now you can breathe again, right?
No, I'm fine. I like this. I don't know. This is my 6th year.
Oh my gosh, that's wonderful.
I just enjoy people. I love their stories. It started out because I wanted to know what rocked everybody's boat.
Right.
And it didn't. I never got the secret sauce recipe. Still looking for it. So as long as people want to come on my show.
That's right.
Thank you so much for doing this last minute.
Well, I'm glad it worked out. Yeah, I was laying in bed there and all of a sudden your face popped up and I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. Let's get to it.
You said if there is an opening.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, let's do this, right?
Kind of ironic how quickly it happened though, right?
Sometimes be careful what you wish for.
Right, exactly. Well, listen, Munira, have a great day. I look forward to watching the replay, and I'll share it with folks as well.
It's going to be out on, it's on my Facebook, so you can just share it on your Facebook, but it's
Okay.
going to be out sometime in April. So we'll
Okay.
let you know.
Yeah,
And
make
I
sure-
will add you to my mailing list.
Sure, absolutely. And make sure when you post it, you tag me on it, then I can see it and share it too.
Well, it's going to go out in the podcast
Oh, okay.
world. So
Okay.
then you can share however you want.
Okay, great.
Links will
Awesome.
be there. All
All
right.
right. Thanks so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Munira's Musings. We hope that you found today's conversation inspiring and useful so that you can continue making progress towards mastering your own niche. Please tune in next week for another episode, and in the meantime, you can follow us on social media at Munira's Musings on Facebook and leave us a review wherever you're listening to podcasts. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.